commentary. I am CM Showstopper, and I'm here with my tag team partner, DJ Knight Rider. DJ Knight Rider, did you happen to see those pictures of Brett Favre's penis?
Hi, I'm DJ Knight Rider. No, CM, but I'm sure you have. So first
You're
topic.
damn right I have.
Good God. First topic tonight. Jeff Hardy, new TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
Can you not talk like that?
No. What do you think, CM?
Happy for Jeff, obviously. Big Jeff Hardy fan, as you can see. I didn't really care for the heel turn, though. I mean, I know it was shocking, and it's something that kind of shakes things up in TNA.
It does.
But no, I'm not feeling the heel turn. I mean, Jeff isn't a natural heel. I mean, the guy can't cut a promo. Let's face it, he can't. But, you know, it's more than just that. I mean, the guy was the most over babyface in the company, selling the most merch that they had. I mean, we had just come off the tour of those house shows, and he was clearly the most over guy who was there. I don't know. It just it screams to me of desperation. What do you think?
What do I think? I'm split between they. Here's my problem with they. I guess I'll start with. I'm split because it is old WCW, NWO. You know, they're bringing it back. You know, Russo doesn't have any new ideas, so they're bringing back all these old ideas. I definitely have a slight issue with Jeff turning heel because he cannot cut a promo, because he does have so many just loyal fans that are going to be loyal to him no matter whether he's heel or face. So, you know, whether he's heel or face, he's still going to get the cheers. So
Right, so it's going to be hard to even get him over as a heel.
Correct. You know, him having the title, you know, I don't mind at all. I think all people in that triple threat were deserving of a title run. I'm curious to see where it goes.
Who was your original pick to win it? Because I know that neither of us picked Jeff Hardy to win it.
My original pick to win it, I'd say up until about the week before the pay-per-view, that Live Impact, was definitely Kurt. After the Live Impact, I'd say it switched to Anderson just because of the way everything went down in the Live Impact. I think they really pushed Kurt hard, giving him the Battle Royal win, and then even after the show, one reaction where I really think we're built more towards the pay-per-view with a lot of heat between Anderson and Kurt.
But I mean, we both agree that we were not. No one had Jeff Hardy in this to win it. So I mean, they did. If their goal was to, you know, to shock us, they did that.
They shocked me.
And if their goal was to get you to go, okay, I'm shocked. Now I want to know what's going to happen on Impact. Have they done that? For me, they have. For me, they have. I mean, they shocked me. You know, I'm not in favor of the heel turn, but they've shocked me, and now I want to see what happens on Impact. I want to see what's going to happen. And isn't that the basic? I mean, this is just me playing devil's advocate. Isn't that the basic idea when you're trying to develop these stories? Isn't the basic idea for you to get someone's attention and then capture it and to continue that attention from week to week on Impact, leading to the pay-per-view?
Yes, but the problem with Impact, as many people know, is that it is pre-taped. So there is something called a spoiler which you can read. Unfortunately, you know, I've already read the spoilers, so I know what's going to happen this Thursday night.
Do you think the mass media or the mainstream fan,
common fan, you know, I'm going to go 75-25 is not going to read the spoilers.
Okay. So they're trying to increase their audience. So this is you know, something. Obviously, the heel turn is shocking. We're shocked. At least for me, I want to see Impact. I've read the spoilers as well, and even though I've read the spoilers, I still want to see Impact, because you can read everything you want. It doesn't mean that you're going to get the entire story.
I agree.
There's things that, you know, that's somebody's point of view when they type that out. It's not just factual information. There's things that they're going to be leaving out, minute details that you as a viewer may pick up and think that is more important than another. But
okay. Well, I guess we covered, the big headline per se. So I guess.
Well, what about the rest of they? Because we didn't get too much into they. We saw, you know, obviously we what was your prediction, before we get into it, what was your original thought on they? When they came up with this storyline, and Abyss is claiming on 10-10-10 that there was going to be, were coming. Who did you think they were?
To be honest, what I was really hoping before, I think a lot of it was shot down, was Paul Heyman. Because I thought, it would strictly be an Abyss type storyline, and it would give Abyss the mouthpiece he so desperately needs. Because I don't like Abyss on the mic. Then things progressed, and then I think the live Impact on Thursday essentially gave away that Eric Bischoff would be part of they. Mm-hmm. To someone who might consider themselves a fairly smart mark, you should have picked up on that.
Well, I think you can attest to this, but since the beginning of the storyline, I was the one who came out and I said, Bischoff, Hogan is they.
Yes, you did.
And, it basically played out, because even with Hogan on Impact, and the reason why I even played this, or that I was so certain about Hogan showing up at Bound for Glory, was the simple fact that TNA milked the hell out of his injury. This was something, we all know Hogan has back problems. We all know that he's had, surgeries done. But they made such a big deal out of this surgery. And I know that I would say 90% or 95% even, of the viewing public don't know about what Hogan had installed in his spine. Basically, it's almost like a spinal tap, but it's a mechanism that's used sort of like a TENS machine. I don't know if anybody's familiar with a TENS machine, but what it does is the object of it is it's a little sensor that when Hogan is feeling pain, or when any patient is feeling pain, it's already installed in his spine, so it will automatically send an electric shock basically through his spinal cord that sends a message to his brain that tells him there's not any pain. So it doesn't fix his problem, but what it'll do is allow him to be able to function. Now, yeah, it's a major surgery to the point where he's going under anesthesia, and he's going to have this thing installed into him, but the thing of the matter, or the point of the matter is that it's not something where he's not going to be able to get up out of bed and walk around. And I think that TNA made way too big of a deal out of it, and to me, that's what sent the message straight to me that there was no doubt Hogan was coming to Bound for Glory. There was no doubt he was making an appearance. I thought it was even possible that he might wrestle and actually be in that six-man tag with Joe and Jarrett, and turn. Obviously, that's not what happened, and clearly Hogan was in more pain than I had, downsized it to. But he got, he walked down that ring, he climbed in there, and he handed Jeff Hardy a crutch. So, his injury wasn't as bad as TNA made it out to be, and I think that's what sent me more of a message that Hogan was actually going to appear, and then we were going to find out all of day. So we got Bischoff, we got Hogan. And it really, the only surprise to me again was when, Hogan was in there and Bischoff, is playing it up like he's, oh, Hulk, don't beat me up because I got the chair or whatever. And then they got the two crutches and they're facing off. I thought they were whacking Jeff. I thought they were going to whack Jeff Hardy. Down goes Jeff. Either that or Angle. This was an outside possibility, but I thought maybe Angle is the one who turns heel. Angle grabs Jeff. Angle slam, picks up the crutch, cracks Anderson, and it's Angle winning. Or, it could have been, I just didn't see Jeff. I thought for sure Jeff's getting whacked out of the match. Anderson, Angle, one of those two is picking up the crutch. Bischoff, Hogan is they. And, the Jarrett thing, though. I said the same thing about Jarrett. I said, the way they built this, and maybe they did a piss-poor job in the fact that I don't think they released enough details on it. They built this long storyline, which is great because wrestling is dying without it. They don't have these storylines that are built, details, and continue along. And I thought that they finally did that here. I give a thumbs up to them putting the time and effort into developing the story, but the actual detailed development didn't come. And I think that's why the crowd became more and more annoyed by Sting and more annoyed by Nash in these cryptic messages of, I know what's going on, and blah, blah. We never got an extra detail. If you're going to move from A to Z, well, we need to find out B and C and D. You want to get those extra pieces all the way to the end so we get to that end result. And I felt like, we went from A, in 1 month, in the beginning of the year, I guess, in January, all the way here to October, to Z, and we never touched anything in the middle. I mean, really nothing else came out in details or anything to that effect. It was just the fact that Sting was so concentrated on Jarrett and felt like Jarrett was part of the problem, and there he was. He was part of they abandoning Joe again. I said it. He was gonna turn on Joe. He was gonna turn on Joe.